Scholastic Veterans Memorial School. Oh, there we go. I'm going to call this meeting of the East Scholastic Veterans Memorial School Building Committee to order. This meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with the state open meeting law, consistent with the governor's orders, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and banning certain gatherings such that an in-person meeting of the building committee is not possible. The meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. That being said, Yash, can we have a roll call for attendance?
Good afternoon to one and all.
Yes.
Jonathan Pope.
Here.
Thank you. Ben Lemes.
No.
Not here. Caitlin Clancy.
Here.
Thank you. Richard Safar.
Here.
Thank you. Matthew Fusco.
I
He's
think he's trying.
trying to get in, but is unsuccessful.
Have them call in at least.
Okay.
Amy Pascarello.
No.
Grant Harris.
Here.
Thank you. John Dunn.
Here.
Thank you. Gary Fresh.
Here.
Thank you. Caitlin Nunes.
No.
Oh, okay. Adam Russell.
No, he's in Europe.
Oh, cool. We have 6 present.
And because, as I stated earlier, because 2 of the members have not yet been sworn in, they don't count towards the quorum. And we have 11 voting members and 6 is a quorum. Okay, that being said, the first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 9th, 2022. Are there any
Maria,
corrections? Pardon me?
I was wondering if Maria can let me share my screen. It's
Okay.
disabled right now.
Yeah. Are there any corrections or omissions? Okay,
Brian. I move that we approve the minutes from June 9th, 2022.
Second.
second. Okay, yes, can we have a roll call vote?
Jonathan Pope.
Yes,
Thank you. Caitlin Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Richard Safar.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. John Dunn.
Yes.
Thank you. Gary Fresh.
Yes.
Thank you. Did Matthew join?
don't see him.
We have 6 in favor.
Okay, 6 in favor, 0 opposed, it passes unanimously. The next order of business is the approval of our invoices to date, and I will turn it over to Brian. We'll
Thank you,
share his
Jonathan.
screen.
Great. So yeah, we don't have too much to cover today, but this is an important item to make sure everyone gets paid. So our first invoice we have is, all of these are in your package, is for WT Rich Company. That's requisition number 11 in the amount of $2,700,239. So that's for the work that's been completed last month. That includes concrete, steel work, some site work, masonry, roofing, radon, a lot of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work that's happening inside of the building. Overall, they're about 1/3 of the way through with those things. The second invoice is for Doran Whittier. That's invoice number 38 in the amount of $91,844.21. The majority of that, about $88,000, is for their construction administration work for the month of June. And then there was also some additional fees for the radon design from their consultant, McPhail. That brings it to the total of the 91. CBRE, we have our standard monthly invoice for project management services in the amount of 60,000, and that's invoice PJIN 0031066. The next invoice is for UTS. They're providing the testing for us. This past month, they've been testing some of the grout and concrete. And the amount for those testing services for June is $4,187.13. It's invoice number 100-402. And the final invoice is for Geocomp. Geocomp is providing vibration monitoring on the site. The invoice that we have here, invoice number 221159-00001, in the amount of $6,000, is actually for the work that was completed last fall. So they sent us a combined invoice for all those services that began back in August and completed in December. But we are having vibration monitoring on site again now as we prepare the site for the roadway. So those are the 5 invoices that we need approved for this month. The total is $2,862,270.34.
Any questions? And just, yes, you might note that that Matt has arrived.
Hello, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. Any questions? If not, I will make a motion that we approve the 5 invoices as presented for the total amount of $2,862,270.34. And I so move.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, yes, can we have a roll call vote?
Jonathan Pope,
Yes.
thank you. Katie Clancy,
Yes,
thank you. Richard Safar,
Yes.
thank you. Matthew Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. John Dunn,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Fresh,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, it passes unanimously, and thank you very much for all the work that everybody's been doing, and we're glad to be able to pay you. That concludes all of the things that we need to vote on. Is that correct, Brian?
Yes,
fine.
that's right.
So, John, if you need to get back on the road on your merry way.
I do. So halfway through my trip of 450 miles. So yeah, I would like to continue.
Coming or
All right,
going?
so everybody have a good weekend.
You too.
You too.
You too, John.
safe travels.
Take care.
All
So
right.
Matt, I just want to say you look like you're on tour with your band.
I was thinking the same thing. He's looking more and more like a rock star every time I see
Living
him.
my best life. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our reports and updates. And,
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. So not too much. All of the information was included in your package in the monthly report, but I'm going to go over some of the highlights. So as you can see, the project has been moving on nicely. We have building A nearly fully enclosed. We have roof work underway. Many of the systems are being roughed in on all 3 floors in building A. And then building B over to the right, that's lagging a little bit behind the building A. So that's where we have a lot of the public spaces, the gymnasium, cafeteria. We were able to get most of the slabs in last month, including the 2nd floor slab, which will be for the gymnasium and the art room. And then we have a slab on grade that's scheduled for next week, and that'll be the final major slab pour. Switch to the next slide here. So overall, the project continues to track to an on-time completion. We had a 13-day lag that showed up in the schedule last month, and that has been cut in half, leaving a 7-day lag in the current schedule update. And you'll have that full schedule in the back of the monthly report. We're projecting that 7-day lag will disappear in the next month or 2. The CM has been actively managing all the work on site, to keep to keep things on schedule. And we did have some slippage with the Building B steel and glue lam taking a little longer than anticipated, but we've had some expedited work with the interior rough-in that has helped to make up for that and keep the schedule where we need it. The project also is tracking to the budget, so that's good. We continue to have some concerns about lead times, but so far we've been able to have the materials that we need on site when we need them so that the work can progress. And much of that is due to being the CM being proactive with communicating with the subs and getting submittals sent in and approved earlier than normal. We're also still seeing construction prices very high. But thankfully, since we have fixed price contracts now on this job, we're protected from any further escalation. Project activities, a lot of these continue to remain the same. The team continues to work well together and stay focused on delivering a quality school building on time and on budget. So that's always good news. As the OPM, we've been continuing to manage the overall project, keeping the local community informed about what's happening on the site, handling quality control and cost management, as well as regular reporting to the owner and the community. The architect has been busy working on submittal reviews, answering RFIs, reviewing field conditions for any issues that are out of line with the contract documents. And the CM has been overseeing the on-site safety. So far, that's been very good on this project, and managing the construction schedule and the subcontractor performance. On the project funds, overall, we're about a third of the way through the job, and we continue to have a healthy amount of contingency in place to handle changes as they may arise on the job. As the OPM, we've completed a little more than 50% of our services for the project, and the design team is about 3/4 of the way through their work. And the CM, about a third, kind of matching where we are overall on the job. No significant changes with the contracts. We did have some additional contract that's been added for the vibration monitoring that I mentioned earlier. That's for the work that's happening right now on site. That's for $3,200. And we'll also be adding some flood testing for the roof for $2,500. And that work is planned for later in September. In terms of the subcontract awards, we're basically complete. We've got the final one with the fencing subcontractor remaining. We hope to have that wrapped up within the next few weeks. That's just over kind of $250,000. We had the playground contract awarded since our last meeting, and I'll go over that in just a minute and let you know how that one came in. Change orders are still floating around roughly 100,000, and the number does vary from day to day as things come in. We have both credits to the project and charges, so we continue to manage those with the CM and the architect. And to date, we do not have any official change orders that have been issued on the project. So here's the letter of recommendation that was put forth from W.T. Rich for the playground equipment. This number came, so originally we were thinking we might be contracting with M.E. O'Brien, but Compan ended up being very aggressive on their pricing to help get the job. And so we were able to save money by going with them over M.E. O'Brien. Now the number is slightly higher than what we had in our control budget. Part of that is because as we went through the final iteration of playground equipment, we made some adjustments to some of the equipment to better help both the physical and the emotional qualities of the equipment for the children. So there were some changes to some of the pieces that enabled more students to play together on site, as well as for some of them to play by themselves. So we have a greater variety there. And also some of the heights of the equipment were changed to make an overall improvement to the playground experience for the kids. So as we've gone through these letters of recommendation, some of them have been over the budget, some of them have been under the budget. And so far, we continue to track within the budget that we had allocated for these awards. Any questions so far? No? Okay, keep moving here. Cash flow, there's not really too much to report. So you can see the continual progression with the project funds. You will see that the CM's numbers have gone up again, so we're billing more. That's because we have more people on site. And here on our schedule, we're pretty much, just about halfway through the set of construction activities. Right now, we have about 50 workers on site daily. That number does vary from, let's say, 40 to 60, but that's what we've been averaging. And that is an increase from where we were last month. So we've added probably 50% more workers to the site. So that's what's helping to make up for some of these changes in the schedule and enabling us to keep the project on track. Let's go on here to the next slide. So the OPM, continues to do the same thing pretty much as last month, managing the overall project. We've been finalizing some decisions and contracts with the utility company and the health department, and also handling some final site items with the school district, trash cans, benches, EV chargers, and the like. We continue to file regular reports to the MSBA to update them on the project and to review all the potential change orders that have been coming up throughout the construction process. Also, we are keeping the community up to date. Last month, we had a concrete pour that was in building B that went off without a hitch. Notifications were sent out via email and flyers to all the local residents. We have temporary construction lights that are on now at night on all the floors. These are providing lights during the day when the workers are working, because now a lot of the building is enclosed. And then after work hours, it's for safety and security on the job site. We have one more concrete pour, as I mentioned earlier, that's scheduled for the 21st. That's going to be a longer activity. That'll be the slab on grade for building B. So that work will be expected to extend late into the evening with some work lights, but minimal noise. And once again, we'll be sending out notices to all the neighbors via email and flyers. And there's also information that's posted on the project website for that. The architect also is doing much of the same this past month, handling mostly the submittals and RFIs, as well as some coordination and clarification on various construction details in the job. They have been able to catch up a lot on the number of RFIs and submittals, and that's been good because it helps to generate a quick turnaround on the items that are submitted by the CM and keep the work moving forward expeditiously. They're also assisting in reviewing the LORs and the PCOs, or potential change orders, to help ensure that the costs are managed on the project. The CM, let's see here, it's not, there we go. CM continues to make progress with the work and run a job site free of injury with good, safe working conditions. They've been progressing a lot on the interior of the building, as well as the exterior of building A, and some significant accomplishments in building B with the steel substantially complete and almost all the slabs complete at this point. Here you can see some of the milestones. So we've been tracking that throughout the job. Some of these have been ahead of schedule, some of them are behind schedule, but overall, the overall job is tracking within the substantial completion date of June of next year. So I will let our CM, Alex, here kind of walk you through some of the details about what's been happening on the site. This month, we're going to look more on the interior of the building using the open space program that provides a lot of insight into what's been happening on the job. So I'll stop sharing my screen here, and Alex, if you can pick up.
Yeah, it looks like my screen sharing capabilities are disabled at the moment. I don't know if someone can let me in.
Okay, yeah, I think Maria can help us out with that.
All set. Thanks, Maria. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to spend a moment talking kind of exterior. I'm sure many of you have driven by the building, hopefully, and seen kind of what's going on, but I'll give you kind of a brief tour of the exterior and get more into the interior, as Brian mentioned, in a second. So again, as Brian mentioned, we're probably 75% complete with sheathing on what we're considering A building, which is the 3-story classroom wing. You can see the stairwells, both stair 1 to the left and stair 2 fully constructed. We actually have stairs in there as well, installed and poured with concrete. So that's allowing us, better access through the 3 stories of the A building. So again, 75% complete with sheathing, which is what we call, or what you see as the yellow material here. I'm going to work kind of clockwise around the building here. So you can see this is stair 1, CMU shaft wall that'll get enclosed with brick, or wrapped with brick, I should say. This metal foil material that you see is the air vapor barrier. So that goes on over the yellow sheathing. That kind of provides sort of a nice enclosure, obviously not allowing air or vapor barrier into the building. Working our way sort of northwest of the building now, you can see, again, most of the yellow sheathing's up on the back side of A building. You can see the amount of fenestration on the north side of the building as well, with all the window openings. This large area here is actually full 3-story curtain wall at the extended learning area. So that's going to be a pretty dramatic space, both outside and inside, once we get the curtain wall installed later this fall. Where we're standing now is the play area. If you guys remember, there's a turf field back here, a basketball court as well, and a lot of line striping for children activities, as well as the playground areas with swing sets and multiple play equipment structures. So I'm just going to bring you around here, kind of looking back at A building. Again, this giant curtain wall area, nice feature to the school. We're working our way to B building now, which, as Brian mentioned, is following right behind A building. That's kind of an intentional measure. As we kind of enclose A building, we focus on B building to follow after. So you can see the backside. This is the custodial area, maintenance area as well. Kind of on the eastern portion of the building now, looking into the cafeteria. On the area below, we've got an overhang here with some wood wrapped columns. And right above it's the gymnasium. So again, quick little exterior tour, kind of showing where we're at. As Brian mentioned, all the steel is complete at this time. Concrete's poured on the 2nd floor, and we're working to get the slab on grade and B building poured later next week. I'll move to the 2nd floor interior because that's probably the most progressed so far in A building. So as you can see, oh, go ahead.
Can I just throw in a comment, Alex? Just wanted to point out, so as we're looking at all these images, one of the nice things is that these images will be available for the maintenance department. Also, once the job is complete, for them to be able to go back and see what was constructed, but at different times, and what's behind all those walls. So it's something to keep in mind as we're looking at this. It's not just what we see right now, but the record of this will continue throughout the life of the school building.
Yeah, Brian, that's a good point. The purpose of open space is really a documentation tool. So you can see the progress, as Brian mentioned, identify any things that may be in wall that are obviously hidden once drywall and paint goes on. We're just hoping it's a nice tool for the end user to be able to have for documentation purposes. So as I mentioned, this is stair 1, fully constructed, concrete in the stair pans, which again allows our workers to get up to the 3rd floor without much difficulty. So this tour kind of zigzags in and out of classrooms, so I'll be kind of brief. But this is one of the larger classrooms on the second floor. You can see the small group room, and then you've got the side-by-side classrooms with the entry from the hallway here. You can see the steel, the supplemental steel, which we have installed, which is going to be where that folding panel partition is, which is going to be able to kind of operate, open and close, to allow what I assume some flexibility when you want to have larger group sessions between classes. So again, a ton of natural light with these window openings. We're expecting windows to be installed sometime in October. But yeah, that's sort of a typical classroom that you'll see on the second floor. Same on the other side of the corridor as well. You can see a lot of the guts for the buildings, a lot of the MEP stuff being installed, ductwork, a lot of riser piping, as well as electrical being started. So I'll move down the corridor a little bit here. I mentioned the extended learning room with that large curtain wall space. So again, we're using this as a trash disposal area to be able to get material in and out of the building relatively easily. So we'll keep that open purposely until we get that curtain wall, and then we'll close it in with the rest of the building. I'll skip these classrooms because they're kind of similar to what we looked at before. Now we're getting into B building. This is actually the elevator shaft that we've constructed as well. We've got stairwell 3 right here, fully constructed, and stair 4, which gets you kind of the back of house area and the gymnasium as well. So I'll work through what's now, or what will be, the music room right here. We've got a second floor fire protection lines, recent delivery on Wednesday, so that'll start going up in B building as well. We'll work our way into the gymnasium space. Again, fully poured concrete slab. We've got stair 4 here, and then this picture probably doesn't do it justice, but this space is just enormous. So it's going to be a really nice gym space for you guys. There's also a platform here with a ramp that'll get you up to a platform. That'll start to come together. You'll start to see that better once we start to get some framing up. But platform and gymnasium here with the wood floor. Just kind of give you a kind of 360 through the gym, looking straight at the platform. We'll work our way into the sort of hub area, if you want to call it. Nice 3-story space. You can really see the glue lambs. I'm sure for those of you that driven by, you've seen these wood beams and columns installed, but really up close, it's pretty dramatic. So this is going to be a 2.5, 3-story, 3.5-story kind of entry space into the building. This is a second floor looking up and down, obviously down into the first floor. So it's really a pretty dramatic space with all this stuff installed currently. Now we're getting into the art room, which is going to be on the left side here. This is actually supplemental steel for the sort of garage door feature that's going to be able to open and close between the art room and the media center. And then I'll get a nice shot of the corner of the media center art room, where you can see just how cool these glue lamb beams are. All exposed. So really, really a cool space from Doran Whittier. So again, another pretty large media center space with a bunch of different areas, kind of isolated areas for different working groups to work in once the space is obviously operational and usable. So that's kind of it for the second floor. Again, just wanted to give you kind of a, where we're at with the most progress between A building and obviously B building being constructed and rough MEPs and framing starting in this area. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
It was very nice, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Any questions? Anybody? Windows are coming in the fall.
Yes.
Will be closed in for winter, right?
Yep.
Great.
When do they start putting the brick up?
The brick's gonna start Monday, Matt.
All right, good.
Yep. So we've got a little mock-up, and I meant to have a picture to show you guys. I don't think you can see it from the building, but we did do a little stand-up mock-up just to kind of give everyone a sense of what it's going to look like, work out some of the construction details as well. So we'll try to get you a couple pictures just to kind of show what that brick's going to look like. But again, yeah, layout for the bricks starting Monday, and then the masons will go pretty fast. You'll be surprised to see how fast they go putting brick
Really?
up. So it's going to dramatically change what this building looks like in the next few weeks to month, if I had to guess.
Awesome. Thanks.
Sure.
Okay. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Well, that's pretty much all I had on the agenda.
Yeah. Is there anything else anybody like to bring up before we adjourn? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There you go. Somebody second. There we go. Grant,
Let's
you're
move.
right on top of it. Yes, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Jonathan Pope,
Yes.
thank you. Katie Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Matthew Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. John Dunn,
He's gone.
Gary Fish,
Yes.
thank you. We have 6 votes.
That's sufficient. Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll be looking forward to next month when we are going to see brick and all sorts of things.
Mhm.
Nice.
Good job, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Take
Have a
care.
nice weekend.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice
Bye.
weekend.
Hey, Matt,
Yes.
can we keep you for a second just to talk about trash receptacles, Michelle and I?
I can't wait. Yes.
Awesome.
My favorite subject too, Matt.
Trash receptacles. But when do we talk toilets? That's what I'm.
We've been talking toilets for quite a while.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And I got left out of that.
So we've been asked to put in, we had originally taken out the trash receptacles as a value engineering exercise. We'd like to put them back in. So the question is, 1, how many? And 2, should we do the dual streaming trash and recycling receptacles?
All right.
And by the way, I want to say hi, Tony. How are you? Welcome back.
So what, I'm not sure what you want from me. So you want me to give you like a number of?
A number and a
So-
location. So do you want them at the,
So Matt, the background is we did have a conversation about this
Yeah.
with Ben and Amy. And I think the
Okay.
thought was that there would be 3 locations.
Okay.
Playground, outside the cafeteria, and where else? Michelle?
Playground, kindergarten playground, and cafeteria drop off.
we didn't
Those
want
are
them
the
at the
3 years.
front door.
Right. Okay. I remember that now. Yep.
Okay.
We talked about having dual trash recycling containers at each of these locations. So we just needed to confirm this, like we had this discussion, but
It sounds great to me. Yeah. I think
Okay.
it sounds awesome.
So you're good with just the 3 and those 3 locations and the dual.
Yeah. I think that I think the dual will be fine. Yep.
I think that's all I had then.
That
We
was
can
it.
move forward with that.
Okay,
Great.
Great. Thank you.
That was easy. All right.
now you want to talk toilets? No?
No. Make sure they're white. That's all.
Okay. All
All right.
right.
Great.
all right.
All right.
Enjoy
Thank
this
you.
Thanks,
lovely
guys.
day, everyone.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Tony.
Bye-bye.